Operation Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes Talk Radio Show. Tune in weekly on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time with your hosts, Consuelo Mackey, co-hosts, Air Force veteran Matt Davidson, announcers Taylor Marcella and Brooke Gadesi, U.S. Army veteran and entertainment segment host Charles Whitehead, U.S. Army veteran and Strategies for Hope segment host Dr. Kathy Cash, U.S. Army veteran and Lifeline for Women Veterans segment host Martha Elena Varela, National Director of Faith Services, Chaplain, and Veterans in Recovery segment host Anthony Akampora, and U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarcerated to Success segment host Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Operation Confidence is a grassroots nonprofit. The organization's mission is to provide stable housing for veterans who have experienced homelessness, as well as providing a wide range of supportive services. To help accomplish our goal, a successful landowner has donated land for the project, a world-renowned architect has offered to design the houses, and construction classes from the local community colleges will take part in building the houses. Your support and donations are needed. To get involved, please visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org or email info@operationconfidence.com.
Okay, well, thank you for tuning in to America's Invisible Heroes, a show that's dedicated to our veterans and their families. Yes, I'm your host, Consuelo Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially those who are disabled and may have experienced homelessness. For those of you who are new to the show, American Invisible Heroes was created to provide a platform for our veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, challenges, and accomplishments. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Charles, but beforehand, board member Taylor Marcellus is out of town. She'll be back next week. But Charles, take it away and introduce our other guests. Other co-hosts. So sorry.
All right. Today, we have our segment host, Dorsce, and I'll see Dorsce, don't get me because I always mess it up. Dorsce, and I says, is it Duhan or Dijon?
Dushan.
Yeah, okay, okay.
We've known each other a long time, Charles.
I know it, I know, you know.
Yeah, you guys go back years. How you don't know how to pronounce her name?
I don't even know my own name half the time, so.
Okay.
So anyway, she is the monthly segment host of Make Music LA. We have attorney Eric Olson. He's the monthly segment host of Helps nonprofit law firm. And we also have U.S. Army Special Forces veteran Richard Cooke. He's a bi-monthly segment co-host, I Once Was Whole. Let's start with Dorsce. And I know her name. It's like the mustard, right?
In my dreams.
I know it. But anyway, so Dorsce is the founder of Make Music LA. It's a nonprofit 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to creating educational, cultural, and family inclusive events for all of LA County. As a volunteer for the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council, Dorsce created a kite festival and brought in professional kite flyers to demonstrate and teach the art of kite flying. Kids Fly LA, that's what was the kite flying. In addition, she presented concerts in the park with music ranging from jazz, classical, folkloric, zydeco, and hip hop. Dorsce is currently vice president of the Silver Lake Improvement Association, produced articles for Gentleman's Quarterly magazine, and as a featured presenter, author of education modules, communicating with exhibitors, project management for the exhibition industry, and cultural diversity / organizational learning for the trade show industry. She is an arts advocate dedicated to engaging and transforming communities of LA through shared cultural experiences of the visual and performing arts. to ensure all children and their families have an opportunity to participate in ongoing music and art programs to stimulate lifelong learning and create and have creative invention. Dorsce, please introduce your guest today.
Hi, Charles, and hello, everyone. It's really wonderful to be here today, especially because I have an opportunity to talk with and introduce you to an amazing young man. His name is Artem Kolesov. And Artem and I are new fast friends. We met just a short time ago, and it's really because of our love for and passion for music. Artem, say hello to our audience.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right, glad to have you, man.
Well, I think we need to kind of give them a little bit of background about you. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and how you got started in music.
I will try to say this as short as I can. I'm not known for that, but I am originally from Russia. I was born and raised in Russia in a small town near Moscow. My family comes from all over the place in Russia, and I'm the first person in my family to be a professional musician and to learn music to begin with. So none of my ancestors in the past knew how to play any kind of musical instruments. And one of the reasons why I started in music is really because it was free when I was growing up. It was offered, everything was kind of being dismantled in terms of free music education, but I still got the tail end of it in the late 90s and early 2000s. So that's really why I became a musician, because it was just something that my parents put me into because I kept nagging them about wanting to be a violinist. This is kind of like the short version of my story.
And being a marvelous violinist you are, you've won many prizes, you've performed with incredible world-class orchestras, and coming here to Los Angeles, you have won a prize that is just the first time it's been given out, the Grauman Fellowship. Tell us a little bit about that and how you won it.
Yes, so last summer, I got a call from one of my mentors. He's one of my musical mentors, and he's a Bulgarian violinist. His name is Moni Simeonov, and I believe that he's teaching right now in Colburn Academy and also in University of Long Beach. I think I'm saying that right. He's on faculty there, and he's just an amazing person who has really helped me on my journey. And in 2019, he helped me get into USC. So he kind of coached me how to prepare for something like this. And I was also auditioning in such schools as Juilliard School and Yale and New England Conservatory, and all thanks to him, because he really helped me, prepare mentally and physically for something like that. And he called me in June and said that there is this fellowship that is being offered. And since this is the first time that it's being offered, there isn't really much known about it. So it was only open to a small group of people, and you had to be invited to apply. So he kind of invited me to apply to this fellowship. And I believe I was one of 5 or 6 people who were able to apply for something like this.
Yeah. So what was it that made you stand out for this particular prize?
So part of the audition process was that I had to submit a community-based project. And I have always been passionate about the arts and education. And I've always believed that something like this should be free and available to all. And I've been volunteering at All Power Bookstore for almost a year now. And All Power Bookstore is located in West Adams. And since I, came to North America, first in 2010 to Canada, and then to the United States in 2015, I always noticed that there's this lack of support and funding for something like arts and music education and specifically in racialized and marginalized communities. And I have so many friends from these communities who have told me and shared their stories about their struggle with art and music education, that they always wanted to be artists, they always wanted to be musicians, and they wanted to learn these skills that they need to have to become professionals, but for many different reasons, like lack of access to the funding or the teachers that would help them get there, they wouldn't be able to become professionals and really make a career in something like this. So it just broke my heart, because my parents both went through music training. They didn't become musicians, like I said, but it's because they chose not to become musicians. And so to me, this huge difference between people in the Soviet Union, like my parents, who had the choice to become musicians, and they were able to take free lessons. My mom took piano, my father took accordion because he really liked accordion, and he just chose not to become a musician. And I just think that there are so many incredible artists in your community, and I know that LA is filled with incredible people with amazing ideas that could really change the world. And I feel it's almost, sometimes to me seems like it's almost intentional that people are kept away from something like art and music education. And so I always had this passion, and I told my friends in June, before I even received the call from my mentor, that there's this opportunity. So as soon as I heard about this fellowship, I applied, and I wrote out my whole script for what I want to do with something like this program. And I guess they really liked my idea. And the idea is really not that revolutionary or different. It's just about coming into a community and providing free education and support. And it's based on how my family supported me when I was learning violin. So I told Dorsce that.
How old were you then?
When I started?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about 6 years old. And according to one of my she didn't become my violin teacher because she said that I will never be a violinist, because I kind of got scared. I got scared of this lady who auditioned me into violin, and she said, "Oh, no, he's not good enough. He doesn't have any sense of rhythm."
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, and I started seeing this around me when I moved also to North America, that people are being told that they can be not good enough to learn something, which I do not believe. There's no such thing as a human who cannot learn something. The only thing is that this human is not being provided the proper support and patience and time and resources, right, for them to learn. This is the only thing. And so I heard so many stories, like, for example, my husband told me that he wanted to learn to play the clarinet, and he grew up in the Central Valley. So his parents are farm workers. They immigrated from Mexico in the 80s, and he had to learn from a booklet, right? He got a free clarinet that was just, collecting dust in his high school, and he just found a method book, and he just learned by himself because there were absolutely no teachers in his area that would be able to give him lessons. And so, it just broke my heart that this is how people learn, instead of having support and love that they deserve and need to learn music and art. And I just wanted to say that there's one story that really inspired me from my own learning journey. And it's when I came back from my first lesson with my violin teacher, and I played this piece for my grandma. And this piece just consists of open string notes, just D, 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 D. And it's just like on repeat like this for maybe a minute. And my grandma was sobbing after that, right?
Really?
And she said it was the most beautiful thing she's ever heard, right? So, and this is the kind of support that I want every person in communities that want to learn, and that want to join this ensemble to have, that we are all celebrating the act of learning, because humans have been creating art and music for as long as we've been around. So for example, behind me is one of my sketches. This is one of my proposed, you can't really see all of it. This is one of my proposed posters that I was creating for the fellowship. And it's just one of the many, many different themes that we went with. But this one is actually the art from cave paintings. So the hands that people put on cave walls. And this is from about 200,000 years ago, right? And so I wanted to showcase something that symbolizes community coming together and creating something beautiful. And this is really what this project is all about. Just people of different abilities and different skill levels coming together and creating something beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Describe how it's done and what you're doing with this.
Yes. So the whole project is really very multifaceted. So people can learn different skills to, however big of a level that they want, and however big of a level that they are capable of. In the moment, unfortunately, we do have limitations. Like, for example, we can't take the violins out of the space that we gather in. And I really hope that people would be able to, but we have to do with what we have. And we come together every Monday and Thursday, and it's something of a jam session during which each person in the group teaches others how to hold the bow, how to handle the violin, by observing and showing each other, and really just this friendship and camaraderie, I guess I would use that word, and just uplifting each other and showing others through the power of being together as a team and really working as a team. So there is no such thing as anyone failing or anyone not doing well, because you just do however much you can in the moment. And if the thing that you can do in the moment is just playing open string, then that's how you're going to contribute to the project. And so the point is that you're solidifying your skills by repeating them over and over, and doing it together with other people, because when you're doing it as a group, then the group is actually what's helping you gain more confidence, right? And develop more of this. And I love that your show talks about confidence, because this is exactly what we're trying to do. It's so much harder to have confidence on your own, right? I'm sure that if you've ever sung something by yourself, you probably felt a little bit more scared than when you were singing with, maybe in your churches or with your friends, right? So this is kind of what this project is based on, that we're doing something very simple, but together. And through that, we're gaining more confidence in our skills.
That's so beautiful.
What's wonderful about this is I've actually been taking the classes, and I had never picked up a violin before. And
How fun.
I find myself having so much fun, because it's not as though, I have to learn these scales, and if I don't learn the scales, I'm going to get into trouble, because that's what I was a kid with the piano. But
That's cute.
the outcome of all of this is it's much broader than what Artem just described, because we're looking at having two performances of this coming together, this gathering. It's a new way of performing, and of actually having the people who would usually be sitting in the seats are really the ones who are making the show happen. And so it's a very loving way of having that experience and learning, particularly.
So we will be having our first big performance, and we kind of called it an experience, because it's not just about performing, it's also just coming together as a community and just really uplifting and celebrating each other. And it's going to be actually at the Wallace Performing Arts Center in Beverly Hills on June 3rd.
Okay.
And the idea is that we are trying to erase this line between audience and performers, right? So the audience members will be encouraged to participate with us through body movement, clapping. We will also be creating simple instruments that we call noise makers, like, for example, shakers filled with rice or something like that.
Oh, wow, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and so the audience can participate if they choose to, and we highly encourage to participate as well. And you can also participate in the art creation process. We will be creating very simple art, like, for example, the whole project is based on the idea of remembrance of our loved ones. And so one of the ways that we signify this remembrance is by creating butterflies out of found objects, like, for example, cardboard or newspaper. And The idea is that the requirements for this part is that it has to be something very simple to make, something that you made by hand, and something that you made in presence of people.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Charles, by you being a musician, have you ever played a violin?
I haven't. What's my dog? My sister's dog is over here, so you know I got the. But I have. But I love strings. Absolutely, it's like especially in the last year because I'm a songwriter. I really, really, really have grown to you know how to use strings in my song, in my music, and so I have a violin. I just never played it, but you know, but I love violin. I love strings, especially like the pizzicato and all. You know, I do a lot of that in my music. So
Well, you have to go to the event too. Do you have flyer or contact information?
Yes, you can either contact Dorsce or you can email at peoplesensemble@gmail.com.
Okay,
and when
repeat
is it
it, please.
again?
People's Ensemble, and there's no apostrophe, peoplesensemble@gmail.com.
What
Okay.
date is
And
that
they
again?
can
I'm
they
sorry.
can register on the makemusicla.org website,
Okay.
because we'd love to have, it's open for children from 11 years old up, and adults. So there are two workshops, one for children and one for adults, and we'll all have an opportunity to perform together. So
That's great. It's gonna be exciting.
You
You
know,
gonna come back with a banner or a flyer or something?
yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
what date
Yes.
is this happening?
So June 3rd and then June 21st is going to be
Okay, I'll make
the Obama Sports Complex.
Okay.
Repeat that again, Charles. I didn't get a chance to hear that. It's gonna be June 3rd, and you said another
Yeah,
date?
and then it's going to be on June 21st in the Obama Sports Complex.
Oh, wow, okay. You
So-
have the address to that? Everybody probably don't know it.
Yeah, and this is also, we understand that, you know, people have different availabilities, and maybe for some people it's better and easier to get to something that is happening in their community. So thanks to Dorsce's work, she's incredible, and she's, you know, just such an amazing, like, she's helped me so much through all of this, and I'm just so grateful to her. And
Oh, she's
thank you all
great.
for having me here.
Yeah, you know, I found out something here recently that Dorsce, your son, is his birthday and mine are on the same day.
Yes, Mark.
You know,
Yes, you and Mark are on the 15th of March.
Wow.
Are you as crazy as my son is?
I'm crazy in a good way.
Yes, and he's crazy in a good way too. He makes me laugh every day.
Yeah.
Tim, would
You
you
know-
let us hear you play?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
can-
give us something real quick.
Okay, let me see if I'm gonna play the middle of one of the pieces that I wanted to share today. So it's not quite.
Bravo.
Thank
All
you.
right.
What we say. That was amazing. Is that is that one of your creations or that's by who?
So this is by Jessie Montgomery, and she is a living Black female composer.
Oh, okay.
And
Wonderful.
she's actually pretty young. I think she's in her 30s, and
wonderful.
she's a violinist and a composer herself, and highly recommend. She has other pieces that are just beautiful, and this is one of my favorite.
That's so amazing. Well,
Nice.
congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you so
Man.
much.
Keep
Thank you
at
for
it.
having me here. I appreciate it so much.
It's
We
been
want you
wonderful.
back, okay?
Thank
And
you.
don't forget you're gonna come back with the banner or some kind of, announcement of where you're gonna be next month.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Dorsce. He was
You're
amazing.
very welcome. It's been
Attorney
great to be here with everybody.
Austin is running late, so let's move right on along here, Charles.
Aye.
Our next guest.
Our next guest is attorney Eric Olson.
No, he's running late, so let's
Oh,
move
okay.
on.
Well, then, there it
We're
is.
gonna go with Dorsce. I'm sorry, not Dorsce, but Michaun and Richard.
All right. Okay. On April 1st, 23, two of our visually impaired veterans took part in the National Disabled Veterans Winter Sports Clinic, the world leader in rehabilitation. U.S. Navy veteran Michaun Harrison and U.S. Army veteran Special Forces Richard Cooke were the two people. The National Disabled Veterans Winter Sports Clinic participating veterans experience miracles on a mountainside as they are provided with training in adaptive alpine and Nordic skiing, sled hockey, scuba diving, rock wall climbing, and a number of other adaptive activities, sports, and education. The clinic, which began in 1987 with 90 participants, has grown to assist nearly 400 profoundly disabled veterans. Veterans with traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, orthopedic amputations, visual impairments, certain neurological conditions, and other disabilities are empowered to challenge perceived limitations by participating in adaptive sports that improve their overall health and outlook. World-class instructors help veterans achieve their maximum potential based on their unique capabilities. Along the way, it introduced dozens of veterans to future glory as Paralympic athletes. The 5-day event was sponsored by the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Disabled American Veterans, that's the VA and the DAV, with financial assistance from corporate sponsors and individual donors. It was held in Snowmass, Colorado, that's near Aspen, and the participants' experience were alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, sled hockey, scuba diving, rock wall climbing, fly fishing, curling, and snowmobiling. The mission of the Winter Sports Clinic is to involve disabled vets with spinal cord injuries, amputations, and neurological disorders, visual impairments, and other profound injuries and medical concerns, and challenging therapeutic outdoor experiences and education. These experiences provide the catalyst which improves overall physical well-being, mental health, self-esteem, community reentry, and readjustment. U.S. Navy veteran Michaun. Michaun. And see, I can't get nobody.
Raise your hand, girlfriend. Let everybody know who you are. Okay.
She graduated from James Madison University in 1984 with a Bachelor of Arts degree, majored in Spanish, and minored in military science and biology. After her ROTC records were lost, she was denied commission as a second lieutenant. That's just wrong. She enlisted in the Army in December 1990, basic training at Fort Dix. That's where I went to.
That's where you
New
were?
Jersey. Yeah, it was cold too. She worked as a 42C orthotic specialist and later reclassified as a 91 V3H respiratory therapist, instructor phase 2, pulmonary function technician, and polysomnography technician. She did it all. Her duty stations were Fitzsimmons Hospital, Aurora, Colorado, Fort Sam Houston, Brooke Army Medical Center, 121st General Hospital, Seoul, Korea, and Moncrief Army Community Hospital in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I used to live there because my father was there.
He was
Miss-
a vet too, right?
yes.
Okay.
Michaun's eyesight loss was the result of being treated for tuberculosis while on active duty. Her condition is occult toxic optic nerve and retina atrophy. I know the word atrophy because of the medication and the treatment. Post 9/11, she was no longer able to qualify with the M16 rifle and was forced to medically retire. She served 13 and a half years on active duty and attended Webster University and Cal University, California College of Health Science postgraduate. She has a master's degree in health science management with the concentration in health promotion wellness, and she's divorced and have one son, 18 years old. She is also an identical twin. And you're right. I mean, we can just, we're gonna have to stop all of this stuff, I've got a whole list of things we can't get to you.
I know it, huh? Yeah, she's amazing. She's so unassuming. Look at her just sitting
Yes,
there.
she is, yes.
Yeah, and been all around the world a few times.
She comes on this show and she just gets a kick out of me when I do some goofy stuff, and she's
Oh yeah. I
comedy
think
show.
you should pick out the whole show. It's kind of
It's a comedy
Yeah.
show.
yeah, it is. Come on, girlfriend. Tell us about your adventure.
Yeah, I'll pull up your photos while you're doing that.
Okay, let me mute for a second because my dog is acting up. One moment.
I got one too. Cozy. He's a Maltese. And you know where he is now? The windows are cracked, but he's in the car. He loves sitting in the car. He's right here. So I said, come on out here, Cozy. Nope. He looks the other way. He loves being in the, he just want me to take him bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
So
But I'm back. My experience, I've gone to the Winter Sports Clinic 4 times.
okay.
And my favorite is the downhill skiing, and I learned how to scuba dive there. That was my first experience scuba diving and actually curling. But this year, the one thing I hadn't done was sled hockey, and I loved that.
Really? Wow.
So we get to experience a lot of different activities and games, and that was
Look at
me
you.
sled hockey in this first year.
Wow.
Takes a lot of upper body strength.
Sure does. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
And did you win, or is that just any competition, or just out there for fun?
we have teams that we play against each other, but we keep score because military
Competition.
yes, competition is our name, and
Right.
it's a competitive thing, but we just kept score. But our team did win. But yeah, it's really fun. And the lady in front of me, she's actually 70 years old, and she's been my ski instructor for the last 5 years.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, she's and we are up on this slope. We're up on the green blue area, and
Where did it take place?
excuse me, in Aspen. It's called Snowmass, Colorado. It's outside of Aspen.
Okay. Looks cold. Wasn't it cold? Must not have been too bad. He don't even have a cap on his head.
Are they inside now?
This is inside with the ice hockey.
Okay.
Only about 20 degrees warmer than outside, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
That's so cool. Oh, look at girlfriend.
Mhm.
Wow. Were you getting ready to take off down that hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was getting ready. We're getting ready to go. I've got to the point where I can go, if she's in front of me and tells me which way to turn and stuff, then I can ski pretty much by myself. And then we have another instructor, he's behind, and he'll tell me if I'm going in the right direction or whatever. These 2 gentlemen that you're seeing now, they were honored as they're Vietnam vets. They also do, they've been out there 16 times.
These
And the
two
one
right
in
here?
front of you, he's 80 years old. The one behind you, Hardy Alexander, he's 72.
Really?
Yeah, and they participate. They do snowshoeing. They don't do Nordic or downhill or anything, but they do snowshoeing, but they participate in every other activity and event.
That's so wonderful.
Let's see here.
I did have some other ones, but I think I got them
Yeah, I
on
got you.
the other. I think I sent them to Caswella, but I have a lot of more pictures. This pictures of the DAV guy. He's actually the director of our Virginia Disabled Veterans region, and his name is Mr. Mitchell, and I was taking a picture with him because they sponsor and support us.
Like,
Okay.
what kind of food y'all got going over there? I'm like looking at that food, and I'm like,
They feed us very well.
Yeah, I see.
I eat healthier there than I do when I'm at home. They do
Yeah.
feed us very well. I can't say enough about the clinic. And this year we had 79 low vision or blind veterans attend.
Wow.
So, and
So exciting. Is it, you
That's-
participated here too?
yeah, that's actually a hot spring. It's 104 degrees in that pool. It's an
Oh.
outdoor hot spring, and we did tubing down there on the water. It's up. You can see the stairs up there. That's a tubing thing we went on, and you could ride the hot springs. And it's actually was like 10 degrees outside, but the water was so warm.
You just an
Oh.
all over girl here.
Oh, I
But you
love
say it
water.
was 10 degrees
Water.
outside.
Yeah, it was probably about that day, got up to 40 degrees. For some reason, this year was the coldest it's been in a long time.
So the waters are really warm, so you don't feel it till you get out of the water.
Till you get out. Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
that's great stuff.
Congratulations, girlfriend. We're so
Thank
proud
you.
of you. So on that same trip was Richard Cooke, U.S. Army veteran Richard Cooke. And Richard, you all didn't bump into each other, but you were.
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
Was
We-
you at the blind veterans meeting?
Yes.
Oh, you did
Thursday?
bump into each other. Okay,
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
We met. I
great.
even took a picture with her.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, good
Let
deal.
me pull let's see, I got some pictures for
Why
let me
don't you
show-
introduce Richard to our
okay.
audience?
All right, this is our bi-monthly host, Richard Cooke. And Richard is a U.S. Army Special Force veteran, a 33-year Army Special Force operation, 7 years with the VA hospital as security human resources background investor or investigator.
Investigator.
Okay, I can say, man, okay, what kind of investment you doing in the background? Okay. Then he promoted to GS11, Chief of Payroll, and now he's the Chief Executive Officer of Pro Level Entertainment Foundation, representing talent and models in the entertainment and film industry. Richard is a survivor of 3 strokes, a major stroke in February 2016, a master stroke causing the most brain damage, including aphasia. All strokes in 1 year were caused by a tumor in his heart, blocking the blood flow. Even though he did photography in the Army before his strokes, he found new ways to photograph again post-strokes. His weaknesses on the left side caused him to now walk, caused him to, okay,
It caused me weakness on the left side, but I can
Okay.
still walk now.
but he can
7 years
still
later.
walk. Okay. He rebuilt and regenerated the brain to walk. Now some days a distance of 13.5 miles. He's at the gym almost every day, conduces a fitness class for other veterans who are stroke victims and can lift 51 pounds or more on the weak side of his body. Doctors say he's now in full recovery. So let me see here. I'm gonna show you before we do anything. I want to make sure I get this because this was part of the deal here. You know, the national veterans. Let's see, where am I at? Zoom. Let's show this because this is this is part of it. You know, we got to make sure we get the logo out there.
Now that's the Golden Age Games right there.
Golden Age Games logo. It says "Fitness for Life." And now I'm gonna get rid of that because let's see here, Richard. go back to here. Right there. Okay. It's coming.
Now, while you're looking for that, Charles, I'm going to put it this way. Stroke survivors, whether they're veterans or not veterans, the thing is surviving a stroke is to be able to do your exercises. And so while I'm doing my exercises, that's why I'm participating with the ski clinic. Then I'm participating in this month of May with the Golden Age Games.
So
There's
here we
me right
go.
there atop of Aspen. The hillsides back there is the Rockies.
All right.
Then right there, he's the head commander of all the DAVs across the country. And of course, right there is receiving my medal for what we did for going downhill. Now, it's a medal that can be handed to anybody, but as long as they can still achieve what they're trying to do, and that's what I was able to do.
Good.
And no,
There's
it wasn't cold out there. I was not cold.
It looks
We're not
great.
cold.
No, I wasn't cold.
Okay. What was the weather like?
It was that given day was pretty good. It was nice, sunny, but then a few days later it was all snow, blizzard type of condition. This is the assistant secretary for the VA on a national basis. He's the assistant secretary. Well, of course, secretary, he's doing something else, but that's assistant secretary right there.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's me. And also, she was our same, I call it guide for what we were doing for downhill skiing. She's the same one that helped her as well, too, in downhill skiing.
Oh, okay. They helped
So-
Michaun, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I apologize. I can't say my words very good because of the
Well, that's
aphasia,
okay.
but the things, I still got what I was meant to say.
We understand you well.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
So that was it. Now I have a video of,
Did it come through for you?
I got it. I have it
Okay.
right here. Yeah, let me just
All of us have participated with downhill skiing. Of course, myself, I had to go with staff right there.
That's you?
I would do the same thing.
Just like that. All right, you're doing it. Nice. Hold tight, hold tight.
That's you, Richard?
Got it. Just like
Yes.
that. Bring your body over. Bring your body.
I'm that old guy.
You're doing good.
And when I crossed the yellow line, that's
Uh-huh.
the end of the downhill. It'll be coming up pretty soon. And I also have weaving out of those markers right there, and not
Right.
hidden.
All right. There you go. Hey. And you didn't fall.
No, not until the final end.
Uh-oh.
look.
That's the final end. I already crossed the
Not
finish
too
line
soon
anyway.
there.
I crossed the finish line anyways.
You didn't fall. Thanks a lot,
Nope.
Connie.
Well, we're so proud of you, though. I'm just excited to know that you guys had such a good time.
Yeah,
And you're
Still
showing
good.
everyone that you just don't give up just because you have
Don't
a
give
bit
up.
of
That's it.
right.
you know. Charles is amazing too.
All of us are military in some way, but
Mhm.
we were taught in the very beginning of our times through basic, never give up.
That's right. Right. Well, I was taught that I'm not a veteran, but I still won't ever give up, especially on our veterans. So
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited and happy to see that you guys had a wonderful time and had a good job.
Mhm. Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
next is the Golden Age Games at the end of May. I'll be there.
Okay. Going there. And what are you going to be participating in?
I'm
next,
going to be doing the 200-meter sprints. Keep
mm,
in mind, I'm a stroke survivor who was weak on my left side. I'm going to do 200-meter sprints, then the 400-meter sprints.
you can do it. I've seen you
And
do
then-
some amazing things. What are you going to do, Michaun? Are you have anything coming up?
I was supposed to go. I did sign up for the Golden Age Games, and I was going to do the swim, and I think cornhole, and a couple of and disc golf, but my father's celebration of life is the next week or the same weekend that we
sorry to hear
supposed to
that.
take off. So I decided to back out of it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Sorry to hear that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Charles went through something like that a few months ago, huh, Charles?
Yeah.
God bless her.
Yeah.
And God bless you, Dad.
I did
Mhm.
want to say that Calvin Poole, he's the representative represents the Golden Age Games for our Blinded Veterans Association, Team BVA. So they put him pretty much in charge of that. So he's also going to the Golden Age Games.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I was gonna have him to present himself, but he signed off. I guess he had to go do something. But
Yeah.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about Calvin. Ooh, he's such an amazing individual. Now he's totally blind, but it doesn't
Yeah.
stop him at all. Tell us a little bit about him.
Calvin's a Navy veteran. He did in construction, and I think he did maybe 8 years, and I can't remember. But he has glaucoma. He suffered from glaucoma, and that's why he had to stop doing construction. He's currently an ambassador for the Blinded Veterans, and he's also the secretary for his Tennessee regional group out there in Memphis, Tennessee. He also started his own adaptive sports. It's called TASA, Tri-State Adaptive Sports, which he's the co-founder of, and he's also the president of the TASA organization, and they promote adaptive sports for all disabilities and kids and things like that. And Calvin will be going. We also be doing an equestrian event again coming up in June, as well as the Golden Age Games, and he's also a past participant of the Winter Sports Clinic.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to join you, huh, Charles? That's in Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah, one of these days, we're gonna have to do a field trip in there.
Yeah, we got to go, Charles.
Okay. I see.
We
Connie,
in LA.
Want to join us in Aspen?
Huh?
Want to join us in Aspen?
Yeah,
No.
shit, I was just giving it. I don't do cold.
It's cold. No.
I go to the desert before I go to the cold.
Oh God, yeah, we can't deal with the cold now. And you breeze through it, you and Michaun, like it was no big thing. I would have been just freaked out in the cold.
Well, what we did, we had certain jackets that are.
Did they heat up?
Yeah, it was sort of like that, but they kept you warm.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they do
No.
have those heated jackets.
I don't do cold. Like people tell me they want to go to cruise to Alaska. Enjoy it, because cruise and cold don't go together for me. You know,
My first
be
Golden Age
somewhere in the
Games,
tropics.
my first
Right.
Golden Age Games was in Alaska, but the thing was, it was sunny 24 hours a day and warm, 85 degrees.
Yeah, well,
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
that
Well,
wasn't
we
a
get
deal
ready.
around.
We ended our show pretty early today, Charles. Why don't you give us your presentation, and we're gonna say goodbye. And we're so happy to have had our champs on today.
Champs.
Champs, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about unfair treatment for a wheelchair using having to evacuate from a building due to a fire. There is a scandal in the USA concerning this issue. The real truth is that many owners of buildings with disabled residents and senior citizens are poorly prepared for evacuation in the case of a fire. Just a few nights ago, there could have been a disaster in the senior living apartments where my friend James lives, which accommodates allegedly those age 55 and older, whether healthy with memory care issues or disabled in some way. James had to retire from the practice of law because of 2 brain aneurysms, which led to a stroke. So he was on bottom floor with senior living apartment complex that had short-term memory care services as well as full-blown dementia care. There could have been a loss of life one early morning because the building had not properly prepared residents for how to respond when the fire alarm goes off. James got dressed and left his apartment to find many of the women on his floor, dressed in nightgowns, standing out in the hallway, not knowing what to do. He told the ladies that he would go down and check what the issue was and return and report to them. When he went downstairs, police and some rescue workers were in the building, trying to ascertain whether there was a fire or not. Someone smelled smoke on the first floor and tipped the fire alarm. He yelled, "What do you want me to do? There are women standing outside their doors with no direction on how we should respond." At first, no one answered him. Then one of the police officers shook his hand and someone commented that I could go back upstairs and let the ladies know they should stay where they were until the problem could be ascertained. He went back upstairs and there were more women waiting anxiously. Some of them sat together on the banister next to the small prayer service bingo room on my side of the floor. He told them to stay tight and he would report back when he had more information. 2 fire trucks responded and several firefighters entered the building, some with axes. No one still was certain of where the smoke was coming from. He asked him what he should do for the women on this floor. One police officer asked if there was a laundry room on the first floor. He told her there was a laundry room on the second floor and above, but he wasn't sure if there was one on the first floor, or if there was, he didn't know where it was. Finally, the firefighters determined there was no fire and no cause for alarm. James was told that he could go back to his floor and report to the ladies that there was no fire. He did so and sent them to bed. James said the worst thing was there was still no detailed plan of evacuation in the case of a fire. He was told by the management and by a fire department deputy chief that there are in a shelter in place facility, so they can just stay you can just stay in your rooms and wait and pray until the event of a fire. What? I'm like, that's
Horrible.
that's
the most
terrible. It's
thing
like,
ever.
I mean, as
Is
much
that
as that's wrong, and I don't know how many facets. In this day and age, especially now, everyone has to have a plan.
right?
Anyone in a building, and then you always want to have, because me using a wheelchair, I learned this early on. They said if you go traveling or anything, you want to be on the lower floors of a hotel, and if possible, the bottom floor, because if a fire breaks out and you somewhere up on that 18th, 19th, 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th floor,
Right. The elevator go out.
the elevator, yeah, you gonna be finding a way down, and so you don't want to get trapped like that. And
Right.
I mean, every business should have a plan, no matter what.
Of course. That's what Americans with Disabilities Act. What the heck
Yeah,
happened? But
under
some of
American
them just,
Disabilities Act, yes.
some of
I
them
know,
just,
you
some
know,
of these
that's
building owners are just all about politics and money.
it is, and then that's the sad thing about it. It's like,
Mhm. That's so bad. Well, thank you so much for that. It was a great, great piece of information. Now we starting to wind down now.
yeah. Let me see if I got
You got a funny clip?
a funny clip that I can present here. What we got here?
Michelle likes our funny clips.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to, let's see. Let me get back to here. Boom. And here we go.
Now keep in mind, we have
Yeah, I know.
listeners as well as
Yeah,
viewers.
we're gonna be, yes, absolutely. So here we go. I'm just gonna play this one and get 2 or 3 in there.
Excuse me. What are you doing? Oh no.
Cat
Oh, shucks. What did the cat do?
that jumped up in her face. That's what I'm doing. Oh, this is good right here.
Oh, this not look like Cozy. That's not dog there.
He done done something wrong.
Yeah, that's Cozy right there. Oh my goodness.
Uh, so for your listeners, I'm just showing all of these little dogs and cats is having fun. Look at this. Throwing the cat back
Oh
on the
my
couch. The
goodness.
cat jumps right back up in her face.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Well, you're gonna show us more next time.
All right.
Thank you. You always got something crazy to show. Well, we're coming on down to the end. We're closing this show for today. But before I close, I would like to encourage our viewers and the listeners that Operation Confidence has an amazing resource page. So if you want to, please go to info@operationconfidence.org and scroll down our resource page. And also, we like to inform everybody about Operation Confidence Positive Redirection Team. It's a group of male and female veterans who are mentors and have overcome similar challenges and situations transitioning back into mainstream society. Also, if you'd like to get involved with that, send us an email at info@operationconfidence.org. That's info@operationconfidence.org. And lastly, we are excited about our Operation Confidence Combat Boots and Lace Mentoring and Creative Arts Group, as well as our Distinguished Male Veterans Mentoring and Dress for Success Group. To get involved, again, go to info@operationconfidence.org. Charles, do you have those pictures, that video available?
I sure do. Yes. Here, go ahead. I'm gonna play that for you. Show it right now.
Just so our audience will be able to see what we're talking about with both programs. This is for our female veterans, I believe. We encourage all our veterans to get involved, but we also concentrate on veterans that are 50 and over.
Write a song off this week.
Okay, and then this is our male. Okay, so that's a little bit about what Operation Confidence is doing. We're always pretty busy, but just wanted to give you a snippet of what we're doing. And we have Richard is our photographer. So we're moving right along here. He does an amazing job in photography. So ending our show now, please don't forget to go to our American Invisible Heroes YouTube page. And we're so excited. To date, we have over 125,000 views. And it's going up every day. So we're excited. We've only been around with the show for less than 2 years. How much y'all?
Less than 2 years, and yep.
Yeah, we getting there. And also, we want to let everyone know that American Invisible Heroes is streaming on, not only on YouTube, but we're on Spotify, Apple, Google, I can get that out of my mouth, Google Podcasts, Amazon, iHeart, Stitcher, Instagram, Twitch, and also now on Operation Confidence blog, Google blog. So we're getting the word out there. And I want to thank our guests for coming on today, and always our co-host and board member Charles. We want to say goodbye to everyone, and we'll be back next week.
Next week. Oh yeah, it's time for the.
Oh yeah. Okay. Santa sign us off.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Let me
do our sign off.
Mhm.
Shaka.
Let's play.
Think you having some computer problem, kid.
Can't see it.
Well, anyway, we're gonna say bye. We'll see it next week. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
All right now.